In the last episode, you watched me tear apart the EG and remove the head from the built LS VTEC engine. I'm at a little bit of a standstill for today with that build because I didn't order a head gasket before I pulled the head. So I'm waiting on a head gasket to come in for that car. I have one on order. And so today, while we're waiting for parts for the EG, we're gonna be doing some massive, much needed improvements to the 8th gen. The 8th gen is my daily driver, and she's getting old. She's getting tired. She's got about 140,000 miles on her, and there are some worn out parts on this car that are driving me nuts. Let's go pick up the big mod for today's video, and then let's head over to the boost cave. As I mentioned on the way over here, EG is still tore apart. I haven't touched this car since the last video because that was quite literally last night that I finished taking apart the EG. With that said, let me show you guys what I have for the 8th gen. Today is going to be a bunch of stuff for the 8th gen. We do have a couple of main mods going down, a couple of main things. Allow me to start with the smaller things because I want to unbox the main mod here that has port mounts for the 8th gen and show you guys what comes in the box. Mod number 1, it's a dash cam from a company called Viofo. The 8th gen is getting nicer and nicer. With that said, a dash cam is kind of a no-brainer. The only other reason that I said yes to this one is because of how small it is. Check it out. I believe this is the entire unit. It's tiny. This will easily fit behind my rear view mirror, so I won't even see it. I don't want to be able to see it, but I want to know it's there, and I want to know that I'm covered in some catastrophic accident that's out of my control. Thing number 2, this I'm pretty excited about. This is LED high beam and low beam bulbs for the 8th gen from a company called Novasight. These are also a sponsored product. These are their most powerful unit, and you guys will notice the 8th gen's headlights suck. They're just super dim. They're really ugly color and they're super dim, and I can't even see a lot of the times. These are gonna be sick, and then I also have some polishing pads because I'm gonna go ahead and restore the headlights. And lastly, right here, we have the Hasport FD-STK stock replacement mounts for the 2006-2011 Honda Civic Si. These are the 70A durometer, so they are a little bit stiffer than the lowest one. Are they gonna suck on the street? I'll let you guys know. I'm running 62A in the EG, and they've been totally fine. I really like them, to be honest with you. But the 8th gen is going to be my track car this summer, so I wanted a little bit more aggressive of a mount. Let's get these unboxed because this is what we're starting with today. Transmission mount, don't know what this is for. Passenger side motor mount. A bracket, could be for either or, I'm not too sure. Hardware, the one that most people just upgrade, which is the lower mount or the rear mount, that's that one. I forgot to mention that I'm doing these mounts not only because I want this to be a track car, but the mounts that are currently in the car are absolutely clapped. When the car is cold and I'm accelerating from a stop, the stock throttle mapping kind of jitters and I can feel the entire engine just rocking back and forth inside the engine bay. Really unsettling feeling. So this is not only an upgrade, but also a repair. Bolt. It's just 2 bolts, but allegedly I have to take off this front mount, or I have to at least unbolt it to allow the engine and trans to move forward and backwards so I can get that one in. I'm gonna believe that, but before I do it, I'm gonna just try to remove that one without doing it and see what happens. Figure it's worth a shot. Here's the old one and the new one. I ended up removing this bolt. There's a nut and a bolt up here on the front mount. That's the front mount right there. Got the nut and the bolt. Not necessary for removing the old one, but definitely necessary for installing the new one. This is gonna be fun. I really want to show you guys this going in so you can see, but I'm really stumped. It's proving to be way more challenging than I anticipated, I'm not gonna lie. Is it a broken finger, broken fingernail, or just a stinger? Oh, that hurts so bad. I really don't want to look. Oh God, that hurts so bad. Do I look? Fingernail still intact. Finger in a lot of pain. Yeah, 100%. I'm not joking. That was miserable. I ended up having to shave down both sides of the motor mount itself, not the bracket, but the pin in the side of the motor mount, because my bracket was kind of warped and closed. So I took a tiny bit off of each side of the pin, and then that way, when I pried the motor that way, I was able to get it up and in there. And the choke point was not the big bushing. The choke point was the pin not being able to fit into this bracket. If you're having the same issue, I don't know if it's necessarily the right thing to do, but just shave down the pin and it'll go in super easy. The rest of the stuff, also been a challenge. I know everyone that's here watching this is probably like, I want to see how you did it, but it's really a finesse thing. You got to just fight with it. All right, from what I understand, basically everything on this side needs to come out, and I need to support the engine with a jack or a jack stand. Yeah, I basically have to unbolt everything here. There's a lot of stuff. Bye. Zap that baby off, and then boom, 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 and we're almost there. Ouch! Why do I keep hurting myself today? Goodbye. Think we might be in. All right, she's in. God, my finger hurts so bad. All right, that's one good way in right there. All right, I got the trans side mount out. Bolt here, 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 ground here. And then you have to go underneath the car, but there's one more bolt here and you get it with a 17mm wrench and then the mount comes out. Also, like you guys saw earlier, you gotta painstakingly remove the ECU, and that's all I had to remove to be able to get to the mount. So real quick before I cinch it all down and put the ECU back in, this is the clutch line. It's gonna be out of the way over here, but I wanted to show you guys how this all looks. We have a stud back there, we have a stud up front, we have the bolt going through the motor mount. There's a bolt back there in the corner. So 3 bolts that bolt to the trans, 1 goes through the mount, and then 2 up here, and then the 1 down there that you have to go under the car for. And lastly, we have this guy right here, and it just goes onto the frontmost stud, and it allows you to have a grounding location. Similar to this side. You can see there's a little tab with the ground. So close to being done. I'm so excited to try these out. We've been under a little bit of crisis mode for the last, like, I don't know, hour and a half, because the last bolt for the motor mounts cross-threaded. The craziest thing is, it wasn't even me that cross-threaded it, it was the previous owner, and when I took the bolt out that was already cross-threaded in there, it made it so I can't get another bolt back in. So we got Marty from Ding Dong Drift over here, hanging out. He's over here to 3D scan some stuff on the EK. He's gonna be making some really cool 3D printed parts for it. And we also got him under the hood of the 8th gen. So he just got the tap started. You got it started?
I think so, yeah.
Dude, you're hitting something really hard.
Oh, yeah, I'm putting all my weight onto it.
Oh my God.
Tell me about it.
This guy's a maniac.
I was just saying how I'm about a ½ inch deep inside a brown hole in a Honda. Literally.
It just snaps.
That's what I'm scared of, dude.
Marty's 3D scanning some stuff on the EK right now. I'm going to fill you guys in on that in a future video when I bring the EK back on the channel and we start actually doing something with it, which I promise, I keep saying it, but I promise more info is coming soon. That's all I can say for now. Bye, Marty. Bye, Marty. All right, y'all. 8th gen is done. Passport mounts are in. Boom. Boom. And the other one is obviously underneath the car. Stay tuned for the end of the video where we're gonna take this car on a test drive. And I'm gonna let you guys know if I think the 78 mounts are a good idea in a street car. And this should be applicable to pretty much any Honda. Next course of action is gonna be get started on the headlights. Obviously I have the new bulbs, but before we install the bulbs, I kind of just wanna polish the headlights just to see how big of a difference it makes, just to polish the headlights, even with really crappy bulbs in there. Okay, so here's a quick before of the headlights performance, which I know I did earlier, but I wanna show you guys up close. That's before. Man, these look atrocious. I actually doubt I'm gonna be able to get most of this out. We might just end up getting new headlights in the near future, but we're gonna try our best here. Step one, wash, a little soapy water. Harbor Freight polisher, Meguiar's plastics. All right, let's get a little bit of this light blue cream on here. All right, that was round one. Give her a buff and then run it again. Let my rag go. Dang, that's already a huge difference. First try. Gonna probably do like another round or two of this. That's already leagues better. I'm for sure gonna do it one more time, and I might even turn up the speed a little bit on the polisher because it didn't even really heat up. Let's see if my inexperienced brain pulled it off. A million times better than it was. That's nice looking. That is nice looking. Let's give you guys the before and after test right now. Let's just give you guys the test. Damn, the lenses still have those micro fractures, those micro scratches, micro cracks. This lens does. So it still doesn't look great. Probably gonna have to get new lenses at some point, but definitely way better. I'm gonna do the other side off camera, and we're gonna cut to installing the LED bulbs. Very excited for this mod because these headlight bulbs suck. I can barely see at night. All right, as I stated earlier in the video, whoa, the headlight bulbs that are going in are the Novsight, auto lighting, quick launch, easy installation LED light bulbs. Here's what's in the box. Looks like they gave me a set of bulbs that has been previously installed, so that's kind of irritating. This is clearly a return. And they're definitely dirty. I don't know why they would do that. That's actually really stupid. Dude, these are so obviously already installed. That actually is very irritating. There's literally a bug in this one. If you are a company that is sending a sponsored product to a creator, why would you not send them like your nicest example? This is honestly embarrassing on Nosight's part. I don't know if you guys can be able to see it, but there's literally a bug in there. A little gnat. These have clearly been in somebody else's car and probably driven for a while. I bet they're a test product. I bet this is like one of their test examples. Either way, I'm gonna just assume that these are the low beams. I'm gonna just go ahead and install these in the low beam spot. Let's do it. Okay, unplug the old bulb. Let's get the new one. I mean, not really the new one, but new to me. LED bulb plugged in. The headlights are looking way better. The before and after, let me give it to you guys real quick. The before and after, it's pretty gnarly. The after is very bright, as you can see. It's probably like impossible for my camera to even focus on this, but way whiter light, looks way cleaner, way crisper. They did send out the low beam and high beam, so we'll turn on high beam. Oh, only one works. That's cool. Did I not? I probably didn't plug in the other one. My headlight lenses do have a lot of those like micro cracks that I was talking about. Not pretty. I have to get new headlight housings to fix that. Unfortunately, that will not happen in today's video. It still looks 10 times better than it did. Gotta at least give it that. We are very close to taking this car out for a rip, but I do have one more mod that I need to install that I showed you at the beginning of the video. The next one we're gonna do is the dash cam that I showed you guys at the beginning of this video. I know nothing about it. I know it's a tiny 2K dash cam with Sony StarViz and voice control. Without any further ado, let's unbox it and get started on this install. Let's check it out. That's the dash cam. I wanna see what else is in here. There's more in here. Whoa, holy moly. Dude, they gave me an SD card. That's actually kind of dope. I did not expect to come with an SD card. Don't know what this is for. I can just run this straight to my USB ports that are in my glove box. Let's transport this to the install station. I'm gonna go ahead and wire it into my glove box where I already have USB cables and a bunch of other stuff, but I already have USB cables in here. So I'm gonna just run this up along the headliner, down the A-pillar, into the glove box. Hopefully that route works. And then I'll just plug it into one of these USB cables. Baby, right there. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, from where I'm sitting, I literally cannot see it at all. Now to run the wire. Damn, dude, I hate that I can even see the cord, to be honest with you. I might get over it eventually, but I don't know how long this dash cam is gonna last. I'm like super annoyed about things being on my windshield. Just in general, not a fan of it. Radar detectors, no go for me. Can't stand radar detectors, they're like so pointless and they're ugly. That was easy enough. It's connected to something. I kind of tidy this up. Dump behind there and hopefully no problems. Closes just fine. Clean up the car a little bit and then test out the dash cam. First things first, let's turn on the car and see if the dash cam turns on. I see a red light and that's it. And that's all it does. It just shows a little red light. There's no screen on it. I can't see. It made a noise. Recording started. All right, well, I guess it's probably gonna do that every single time. Hopefully there's an option in the app to turn that off because I don't wanna hear this thing talk to me every single time. Holy smokes. All right, I'm gonna get the app downloaded. It's gonna be like Viofo app. Viofo. Dude, all these like Chinese product brand names are so ridiculous. I would call it like Traffic Mate or like Travel Companion or something like it, like something American, bro. It'd be so, oh my God, dude. It's just unbelievable. Hopefully some of you guys get my point there. It's just like, dude, oh my God, this Viofo app has 2 stars. 452 reviews, 2 stars. Here we go. Okay, so I have to connect to the camera via Wi-Fi. Long press the SD card button to turn on Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi enabled.
Oh, it just did it. It just listened to me. So Wi-Fi is now on. That's cool. Let's see if we can find it. Oh, I found it. Viofo, it's in there. Let's connect. Password is, I think it was 1234567 I think that's what it said on the app. Yeah, 1234567 Password. That's unreal. 1234567 Join.
Wi-Fi connected.
Oh snap, dude! It talks. It's like a little Chinese little robot up there on my windshield. Oh my God, dude, is it gonna listen to me and tell all my info to China? Oh man, dude. Am I a tweaker or do you think this thing's gonna report on my info to China? Oh God, dude, it's gonna have my location. I actually don't know about this whole situation here. All right, that took a while to connect. Try like drive around a little bit. I guess this would be a good way to test the dash cam, the headlights, and the mounts all at once. On initial startup, you'll notice that the car does vibrate more at idle. It's not a lot, and I'm sure because I have a pretty hard...
Recording started.
And I'm sure because I have a pretty hard and rigid bucket seat that I'm feeling even more vibration. If it was stock seats, I'm sure it wouldn't be nearly as noticeable, but it's not bad at all. It's really like pretty tolerable in my opinion. I have a pretty high tolerance for car-induced pain, but it's not bad. Another thing you'll notice, which I actually really enjoy, when you're cranking the engine, you feel the cranks. You feel it like do 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 do, vroom, like you feel the cranks, which I actually really enjoy. It's like much louder, much more aggressive cranks. It's just a cool little thing. Let me get us out onto the road a little bit and we'll see how they feel. Retail, these mounts go for right around $600, maybe like $580, $570, depending on where you get them and if you find a deal. That's pretty expensive. That's a pretty expensive mod compared to, you know, some knockoff mounts you can get on eBay for very cheap. But what you don't get with those really cheap knockoff mounts is one, the Hasport name, the Hasport warranty, and the Hasport quality and fitment. Hasport mounts are known for being very accurate mounts. They're known for being very precise. With a lot of aftermarket mounts and eBay knockoffs and stuff, the tolerances and the fitment are not very good in most cases. You'll notice this when you see aftermarket mounts in engine bays and engines are crooked or sitting very close to one side, or one side is lower than the other, one side is higher than the other. It's rotated in the engine bay. It's very common with those knockoff aftermarket mounts. So what you're paying for when you buy Hasport mounts, again, I'm not sponsored by Hasport by any means, I just have experience with their products. What you're paying for with the Hasport brand is quality, fitment, precision, and knowing that once you battle through getting the mounts installed, which for me it was a bit of a battle with this car, you know that you have a quality product in your engine bay that's going to be doing what it's supposed to be doing when it's supposed to be doing it. With that said, I would 100%, if you can afford to, go with the Hasport mounts over any of the rep ones on eBay. Save a couple bucks with the eBay ones, but it's not a good thing for longevity. The bushing durometer, or the stiffness of the bushing. Hasport offers 62A, the lower numbers being the softer ones, the higher numbers being the stiffer ones. They offer 62A, 70A, and 88A, that's their race durometer. As I was saying earlier, I opted for the 70A durometer. I run 62A in my EG turbo drag car. That car feels awesome. This car right now feels awesome. Cruising, you'll notice really no difference in the bushing stiffness, virtually no difference. Where you'll notice some harshness and really the only difference is at idle, you'll notice slightly more vibration and accelerating from a stop. That initial like throttle rev to get the car rolling and the slippage of the clutch will translate quite a bit into the chassis, and that's what I'm noticing the most with these mounts is just the stop and go, the first acceleration. Otherwise, when you're cruising, you're chilling. One other scenario where you'll notice some vibration is if, say I got it in 6th gear right now, I'm going 40 miles per hour. If I try to accelerate or like lug the engine at all, I'll get quite a bit of vibration in the cabin just from putting the engine under a little bit of extra load. But otherwise, it's not bad at all. You will notice increase in noise, not obviously not in terms of like vibration. I was describing just now vibration that you feel. You'll also notice an increase in noise, like engine sound. Yes, it makes your engine louder. I know that sounds really stupid, but it does, because instead of having those rubber mounts to insulate all the sound coming off of the engine, it's now much more directly transferred into the chassis. The chassis is made of metal, and so it's a good conductor. You do get a little bit more resonance in here with the more aggressive mounts. I have not tried 62A or 88A in this car in particular, so I don't necessarily have a lot of reference between the three, but what I can say is that the 70A is a noticeable upgrade in stiffness with not that big of a downside in terms of vibrations. Something I saw on some other videos that people were commenting on how the shifter felt after. I personally haven't noticed any improvement in the shifter. I would say the only difference that I notice in the shifter is that when you do bang a gear really quick at high RPM and you smack off the clutch, the engine obviously doesn't rock around as much. It doesn't take as much force. It doesn't take as much load or impact from that clutch smack. So it's a quicker like, bap, like you don't get that, it's more just like a quick smack on the engine. I personally think it feels great, but I don't really notice any difference in the actual shifter feel. I just notice a difference in how the engine handles the shifts. And lastly, the biggest upgrade for me is that the engine has stopped like shaking around at low RPM when the engine is cold, when the car's cold, which has greatly improved my daily drivability in this car, which is awesome. I love the mounts. I think they're one of the most underrated mods that exists for pretty much any car. Upgrading your motor mounts, make the whole thing feel a little bit more stiff, a little bit more rigid, a little bit more responsive, a little more snappy. I love it. I want all my cars to feel like race cars, even on the street. That's my style. I dig it. Dash cam. I actually really like it. Like I was saying, they gave me a little Bluetooth remote control where I can click a button and then it will save the last 5 minutes of video that's been recorded.
Voice recording enabled.
Voice recording enabled. All right, audio recording and video recording. Or it does have a G meter built in, so if I'm in some kind of crash while I'm driving, it will automatically detect an increase in G-force and automatically save the previous 5 minutes of video footage. Pretty cool. And lastly, the headlight bulbs. I'm so mixed on this product because they're really bright. They're really good. They're very powerful. But as you guys saw earlier in the video, the company really pulled a BS move on me. Like, I'm not cool with that. If you're a company that wants to work with me, do not be sending me your test products unless you tell me, yo, we're gonna send you a test product. If you tell me you're sending me out your product for me to try out, dude, why would you send me headlights that have already been running another car that are dirty, beat up. Literally the power supplies that were on them had scratches, scuffs, dirt all over them. That's just unacceptable, and that's embarrassing on Novesight's part. I will not be leaving a link in the description down below to these headlights. Obviously, if for whatever reason you guys still want to pick some up, you guys know where to find them. You guys know the name of them. You guys can Google it. I'm not gonna support a company that's doing shit like that. I love my sponsors. I love everyone that's helped out with the channel, as long as they're treating me with respect, but man, that ain't it. So they are very bright though, almost too bright. I do feel like I'm maybe blinding people at night, but that's kind of the way she goes because I can see a lot better and I like that. Do you have any experience with Hasport mounts in your cars? Do you guys have any opinions about aftermarket motor mounts? Are they worth it? Are they too aggressive for the street? Do you recommend just sticking with OEM mounts? What's your opinion on the topic? I'm curious. Leave a comment down below in the comment section. Shout out to Viofo, the world still will never know. That should be their catchphrase. For sending out the dash cam, I do actually like the product. I know I talk smack about the e-commerce strategy of the Chinese right now earlier in the video, but I want to more so clarify that I do like the product. It's more so, I'm just more so speaking about the industry generally. It's just such a copy and paste Alibaba controlled market. So I hope you all have a wonderful couple days till you see me next. We'll be back to EG content in the next video, most likely. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. I'm Boosted John. We deserve nothing, earn everything. Goodbye, guys.